Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's topic, today I want to talk about the difference between when you welcome someone into your life, right? When you welcome that person into your life versus when you put yourself in a position where you need someone in your life. And there's a big difference. And based on whether or not you're looking at it from the perspective that you're welcoming someone into your life, or you're looking at it from the perspective that you are needing someone in your life, that could really determine the nature of the relationship that you have with this person, based on whether it's a welcoming situation, or you've put yourself in a position where you absolutely need someone, and that could really determine how the relationship plays out. So let's get into it. Let's look at it from a relationship standpoint in terms of romantic relationships, right? You're dating someone, marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever your situation is, whatever the context of the relationship is. When you welcome someone into your life, it means that it doesn't mean that you're not independent, right? So it does not mean that you are not an independent person. It means that you have come across someone, right? It means that you have come across someone who you believe complements you in the ways that you feel are satisfactory, in the ways that you feel are appropriate, in the ways that you feel are good for you, right? Good for you, because let's just be honest, right? It matches what you are looking for in life. So you're welcoming someone into your life because they have the aura, they bring the presence, they bring the things that you think are essential to you, right? And they in turn perhaps are welcoming you into their life because you bring things to you, your presence, your aura, whatever you're bringing to the table, so to speak, is something that they're also okay with. They're willing to deal with. They admire, they love, they see certain things in you that makes them want to be able to spend their time with you, right? So you welcome people into your life. And there's a difference between needing folks. The only people you really need, and now for me, someone who's Christian and all that sort of stuff, and I'm not going to try to put my faith in anyone, but from my perspective, I need God. Beyond that, the people I would say I need are very, very few. In terms of you think of needing in terms of your parents, right? For those of us who are fortunate to have our parents, our siblings, and maybe you have one or two really good friends that you really say, oh man, I really, really would love to have this person. It's a strong want, or it's a need, or whatever the case is. And then you got to be careful when you move beyond that, because someone can go from a need to a nuisance, right? Someone can go from a need to a nuisance. So you're in a relationship with someone, you all have kids, or you all have invested in certain things together and getting a home and this, and you find yourself in a situation where you need this person, right? You need this person because you all bought a house together, you've created this life together, you whatever the case is, and so you really would like to have them. Some folks won't want to use the word need, but you really would like to have them because together you work well as a team. But some people can go from the point to where you feel like you need them, or you have this strong desire to have them in your life, to where they become a nuisance. And so you have to decide, at what point do you unwelcome folks from your life? At what point do you unwelcome folks from your life? At what point do you say that someone is no longer welcome in your life? Because when you welcome someone into your life, it's because, as I've said, you realize that you can grow with this person, you can build with this person. But when the person becomes a nuisance, then you're not so dependent. That's what I realize. Sometimes people lose themselves in other people. Now, it's fine to be a team and all that sort of stuff. And folks, if you're always looking for things to be 50-50 or to be whatever the case is, it's never going to always perfectly work out like that. There are going to be times where stuff seems off balance, and you have to know that that is okay sometimes for things to be off balance. You can't always strike the perfect balance. And I think sometimes that's what people are looking for in relationships. They're looking to strike that perfect balance. And and if you're also trying to strike that perfect balance based on societal norms, right? Based on societal norms. Let's say, for example, you're a man and you're uncomfortable with your wife, or whatever the case is, making more money, or whatever the case is, and so you would love for it to at least be 50-50, but this person is bringing in 60% of the income, you're only bringing in 40% of the income. And if you're caught up in that societal norm of what relationships used to be, or all this, it just creates, you have to create your own dynamic in your relationship, and you have to create what works for you in a relationship. And that's why you have to welcome folks into your life that you're willing to work with, that you're willing to compromise with. And that's why you have to unwelcome folks from your life that don't bring anything positive to the table, or at least they started and it becomes a shadow, right? So it becomes a shadow of who you believe that person is, or who that person used to be. As Maya Angelou say, after, people will show you who they are, and you got to believe them. And sometimes we don't believe them. Sometimes we're too dependent. I see people just, they're so dependent on other people that they've absolutely lost themselves in a relationship. You can't lose yourself, because remember, you are an individual, right? We're all individuals. Individuals means that you have your own mind, you have your own mentality, you have your own, and relationships are about blending. It's about blending two souls, so to speak, two personalities, two of everything. And a lot of times people say it's into one, but I really don't think it's into one. I mean, unless it's the perspective of a child, the two of you come together and you create a child. Now you have that one thing. But as far as the two people, y'all are not going to become one. This whole idea of becoming one, I think, creates a lot of problems. You're never going to become one. No, it is nice to have the mentality that you operate in some sense as one, but you're two different people. What you're trying to do is to blend and merge your differences and your similarities in a fashion that you're growing together with each other, that you're complementing each other. But you're not going to become one person, because you're two separate individuals. And so that's why you have to be careful about who you welcome into your life. Right? You've got to welcome people into your life that are willing to blend and grow and learn and struggle and all that sort of stuff with you. Because again, a lot of folks just like things when they're good, when they're great in relationships when things are going good, but they're not as great when things are not going good. Right? So when the same way you welcome someone in your life is the same way you have to be willing to unwelcome someone from your life, and be able to tell someone that you are no longer welcome. It's okay for someone to be no longer welcome in your life, because as we say, folks change. They do. Folks change. And it's not always that they have gone through some massive reformation of their thinking. The change sometimes is just that they're really only now letting you see who they are, right? So don't ever become so dependent on someone that you can't unwelcome them. Because a lot of times when you put your dependence solely into a person, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying you got to be careful who you do that with. And yes, people surprise you. People do surprise you. But that's why you also have to be independent still. That even though you're in a situation where you're working with someone, you really need them, they're helping you out financially. Hey, I'm not saying you're not bringing anything to the table either. You're working together as a unit. But then they start acting up. And you realize that this is no longer working for me. It is unhealthy. It is not good for my mental health. You're stressing out. You're no longer happy. You have to be able to put yourself in a situation to say, okay, there was a time I welcomed you in to my space, to my life, but guess what? Now you are no longer welcome. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to follow, right? So don't forget, the same way you welcome someone into your life, sometimes you might have to unwelcome someone. They're no longer invited to the table. Because sometimes you got to do that for your happiness. Sometimes you just got to do that for your happiness. Be good. Until next time, peace.